Hi, I'm James, and welcome to a challenge today. What I'm going to do is I want to get stuff on the table as quick as I can. So what I'm going to do is have a go at speed painting some orcs. And the time I'm setting myself is 10 minutes. 10 minutes to get a figure that I can use on the table. So let's set the rules for the challenge then. So the first step is you can prepare your figures. Now there's different options for this. We've got our assembled figure there. Yeah, that's how they come when you've assembled them. Now you've got different options. You can just go for a plain one colour undercoat, black, yeah, or white, depending on what you want to do. Or what you can do is go a bit more advanced, do a zenithal type highlight. So what I've done here, I've done a very similar approach. I've painted it black and I've then spray painted that. In fact, wrong one. My apologies, I haven't spray painted that one. That's a slap chop method, where what I've done is got a really good brush. I've used a makeup brush here and basically dry brushed it over the figure to get the differentiation. You can see the difference if you look at the muscle on the arm. So that's one option, which you can do without an airbrush. I do have an airbrush, and you've got two options. You can either go for the zenithal highlight by spraying straight down. You can see there it's clearly defined the light source hitting what's going to be light, what's going to be dark. Or what I tend to do is use them at a little bit more of an angle, either 45 or 60 degrees. And what it does again is it gives you a bit of differentiation to start off with. So they're ones I set up earlier to demonstrate. I'm going to use this one where I use the zenithal highlight from about 45 degrees. So it doesn't make much difference which one to me, but I want you to work out which one works for you. That's always the best one. So many videos on YouTube are paint it like this, you have to do it like this. No, try different things. I'm no brilliant painter. I just want to get stuff on the table, and end result, I go for speed painting. So you can start with a figure in any of those options. Okay, I'm going to use a painting handle for this because I think that'll make life a little bit easier. You can go for as many colours as you want. That's entirely up to you. But your 10 minutes with this has to include drying time. And that's being a bit sadistic, I know. If you're the sort of person who likes to use the wet palette, you can have your wet palette up and running. I've got a couple of colours on there already. I'm probably going to use them very little because generally I find with a figure like this I want to use contrast paints, and I don't generally tend to water them so much. So this then is my figure. Can I get this in 10 minutes to a tabletop gaming standard? This should be interesting. So I'm going to start with a Militarum green. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the first couple of colours I want ready, because I've only got 10 minutes. 10 minutes is not very long. I'll do it. I'm thinking the order I want to paint, because the drying time is included in that 10 minutes, which really will push you. So let's have a look. What am I going to use next? Is that, I think. So we'll have those in order. Using a variety of different paints. You can see I've got contrast paints. I've got one of the really old Citadel paints, bought in the 90s and discovered in the bottom of a box the other day. Got the silver on there. I think do with another brown. So wildwood. We got that Saigo brown. Actually, Saigo might be a nicer effect. I'll need that as well. So I will try and talk it as we go through, but obviously I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm trying to do this as a time limit. So let's start. Alexa, set 10-minute timer.
10 minutes, Starting now.
There we
By the
go.
way, you have a new notification. Do you want to hear it?
Alexa, no. Amazing, you do rehearsals and you never get that. Only happens when you're actually about to do the video. So when you're putting this on, you're not messing around. You haven't got time for that really neat little paint that you normally do. Well, at least if you do normally paint like that, I can't say I do. End of the day with this, we're going for a quick, simple, get it on the table as quick as you can, which if you're playing something like an orc army, that really is what you need to be doing. You haven't got time to be painting up, spending an hour per figure. By all means, spend longer on your command figures. That's what they're there for. Can I see a bit on my face there? Not really, it's all an iron jaw. So, quick clean of the brush, and that's the flesh colour done. What I'm going to do now is move on to the black part. So I'm going to basically paint all the different weapon parts, the head of the grenade. If you had an axe, I'd be painting that. Any armour, anything in black. Obviously with this one we've got the face mask as well.
Anything in black. So with this one we've got the face mask as well.
If you're not sure, just slap paint on this one. So you've got no time to be messing around.
Not sure, just slap paint on this one. So you've got no time to be messing around.
Obviously if you were doing this as a whole army, you've got a bit of a head start, because what you could do is paint one colour on one, then paint that colour on the next one, and so on, and that gains you a lot of time. Just trying to decide where this mask actually ends.
And that gains you a lot of time.
Okay, to paint a bit more flesh on that one. What you don't normally have to do on a figure like this is rush it. You can normally take your time and look. I'm not giving myself that time, so you literally do have to slap it on and hope for the best in many ways. Keep on cleaning the brush. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's go for his clothing, and we're going to use Agaros Dune. Could use a variety of colours, but I quite like this. It gives a nice brownish sort of colour. Could go for a more yellowy colour, but it's whatever you think will work. And try whatever works for you. That's what this is all about. It needs to be something you're happy with. It's no good having a perfect figure if you don't like it.
Needs to be something you're happy with.
This is where you see that having the highlighting sort of almost pre-done for you,
this is where you see that
one less thing to have to worry about.
Highlighting sort of almost pre-done for you. One less thing to have to worry about.
So that might be why, because there's the yellow. I was going to use the yellow and I obviously changed my mind. So quick rethink now. Yep, that's done, that's done. Right, I've got the boots. I do them. Doombull brown. Colour I haven't used much. I picked some up the other day to paint up some Uruk-hai for the Lord of the Rings. I just quite like the colour. It gives a really nice leathery look. See, I'm not messing around with this. It's going on, and that's it. What we'll do is we'll use that to also do the belt. I probably should have left this till later on. It would have given the yellow a bit more time to dry. got straps going over the shoulder. Probably could paint them metal as an alternative.
Straps going over the
One of the nice things with these figures, you do get plenty of options how you're going to paint them.
metal as an alternative. One of the nice things with these figures, you do get plenty of options.
The thing is with orcs, they're going to be in part of a unit. You're not going to have one orc on the table all on its own, unless your morale rolls have gone really badly. So
They're going to be in part of a unit.
you're looking for the en masse effect.
One orc on the table all on its
That's what
own,
we've got now. We've
unless your
got
morale
the
rolls have gone really badly.
Cygor Brown, so let's use that for the
You're looking for the en masse
grenade.
effect.
Stick on that.
Cyber brown, so let's use that for the grenade.
Always amuses me with the stick grenade. They are surprisingly effective. They give it a longer range having a stick. The downside, of course, is you can't carry as many of them because they're heavier and bulkier. Okay, we've got Wildwood. Let's use a bit of that for the straps on his arms. In fact, no, I won't for that. I'm going to use a lighter brown, so we've got some variety.
Some variety.
Okay, that's that done. What are we doing for time? Alexa, how long is left on timer? Okay, Alexa is ignoring me. I'm not going to faff around. What I'm going to do now is use something a bit unusual technique. I'm quite a fan of this. I get some good results. I'm going to use a dry brush, golf brown, and what I'm going to do is just put little dabs of it on the weapon, just to give it a slightly rusty, not very well cared for look, particularly along sort of edges.
Just to give it slightly rusty, not very well cared for look. Sort of edges.
Not the way dry brush paints are intended, but you can get some quite nice results this way, very, very quickly.
Dry brush paints are intended,
which obviously on this model is what we're desperately trying to achieve. A little bit on the mask as well.
Obviously on this model is what we're desperately trying to achieve.
Okay, that's looking good. So we'll now use a bit of silver just to accentuate that effect. I'm just going to just edge highlight. Not all of it, just a couple of points. A couple of random points on it as well.
Not all of it, just a couple of points.
Just to show sort of the scratches and markings. I mean, bearing in mind the orc has probably used the grenade as a club. We can live with a bit of silver on that as well. So on that back plate, can't remember if I did the, I don't think I did the brown on here. Just put a little bit, particularly where it's got studs. Right, pick them out a little. One of the clever things when you do something like this is when you put that little bit of detail on, like that, the mind tends to actually think the detail's there on all of it. Watch that. And the end result is you actually get the brain being tricked into thinking you've actually done more detail than you actually have. Just a bit on the mask as well. But much again. It's giving me just enough there, I think. Okay, a little bit more. And there we go, time up. Alexa, stop. Clean the brush off before I do anything else.
And there we go. Time
And then
up.
what we're going to do is
Alexa,
just
stop.
close up those paints, because otherwise I will knock one over. So that was 10 minutes, and I could have stopped a few minutes before when I actually had before I got to the silver and the rusting part. So you can see there, I'll bring it to this much better camera, better lighting. Got a little bit on the arm there, I can live with that. Yeah, it's not brilliant, and I've got a strap on the leg I haven't done anything with, or is it a pocket? No, it looks like a strap. But for a quick 10-minute paint, I'm quite pleased with that. So here's the challenge I'm going to set you. What I'm going to get you to do is paint up your own orc in 10 minutes. Now it can be any type you like. It can be fantasy, it can be 40k, it can be any other game system. I'm not limiting you to Games Workshop. It can be a 3D printed figure. Anything you like. You choose what you're going to paint. Paint it up. Have a go at videoing it if you've got a YouTube channel. And then when you've done it, send me a picture or a quick 10-second video clip. And what I'll do is pull them all together at the end. And what we can then do is have a compilation video. See how quickly we can get the wah on the road. Sorry, that should be the wah on the road. Hopefully that's been interesting for you. Like I said, links at the bottom of the screen, and I'll also put it in the description. And I look forward to seeing your orcs. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please click on the like button below so that I know what people like and I know what to make more of. Alternatively, if you've enjoyed it and think you'd like to see more, please click on the subscribe button. That way you get notified by YouTube whenever I bring out a new video. And you never know, there might be something in there that you hadn't considered, because I do cover a variety of things on the channel. And finally, if you have a little bit of cash going, I now have a Patreon account. I'm always looking for patrons, because at the end of the day, let's be perfectly honest, it's a good way for me to get a little bit of money that I'll use to buy review items or to travel to museums and so on. I don't put a huge amount on that. At the minute, all we've got is one tier charging £1 a month, which just, as I say, helps cover my costs. See you soon.